Well, hey everybody, Leslie here. How are you? It is Friday, the 7th of December. Boy, we're getting closer to 2020. So, hope you had a good holiday season. We celebrate Christmas, so our Christmas it's just four of us, but it was good, and I hope you had a good time. This can be a crazy time of year, right? So, and if you traveled, I hope everything worked out well. Traveling on Christmas Day and on Thanksgiving Day are one of the times to do it. If there's no weather stopping you from getting where you need to go. But anyway, hope you had a great time and are going to have a wonderful 2020. So I'm going to talk today about, this may seem like an odd thing, but internal interruptions. When I'm working on my to-do list that is in front of me, and what does for those who are newbies to the profession of being a paralegal, our to-do list is changing all the time. We have projects listed on there in order, not always in order of importance, but I'll usually put like a 1 or something that indicates work on this first. And I put a date on my to-do list, and it changes all the time. As I finish projects, I don't throw the to-do list out. I keep track, I make notes on it. It's just a handwritten list. You can do it on the computer as well, but I would not erase things. I would strike through it. If you don't know how to use a strike through, learn how to do that in Word. If you're going to put your to-do list on, you should learn it anyway, but if your to-do list is going to be on the computer and that works better for you, that's fine. But that's a system I always used. It's a must for most paralegals. So, but I can find myself, as I am working on a project, if I haven't taken a 1 to 3 minute break, just gotten up from my desk, and I've been at my desk and many times for 2 hours without moving from that desk working on something, and then I felt so in my 40s, your blood flow, it's not circulating, you're just sitting there like a lump. You need to get up and walk around, go to the restroom. You deserve a break. Take a 1 to 3 minute break by not focusing on that project, by doing something else. Maybe file some hard copies of things that you need to get filed and take a break from it. And then go back and refocus. I would find my mind wandering when I worked on something that long. That's an internal interruption. We have enough external interruptions with people stopping by our desk to chit-chat, make small talk, interrupt our flow as we're working on something, phone calls, attorneys stopping by to give us instructions about something or reminders. Those are the external interruptions, but we can cause our own internal interruptions because we have a lack of focus. Okay, the to-do list helps keep us focused, and it's great if you can set a deadline for yourself. The attorney might have set a deadline for you or not. It might be that you just have all day to work on something, but I would set a deadline maybe before lunch. Setting those deadlines will keep your focus, and then make notes to yourself constantly so you know where you left off. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to backtrack. Create those shortcuts for yourself by writing it down. Like, okay, I stopped at page 10 with revisions, instead of hunting through the document. Oh, where did I leave off? Make a note for yourself about everything, okay? So keeping a notepad close by whenever the attorney stops by or somebody else does, to remind you of something, another paralegal. Did you set up this hearing? Did you do that motion? Did you file that motion? That you are able to know that detail off the top of your head, or it's on your notepad. We cannot retain all this information and have it on the tip of our tongue when an attorney stops by or somebody else and they want an answer like this. You've got to have something in front of you that helps you. So that's number one, is keep a notepad. Number two is take breaks so that you take care of you. Self-care at work. It doesn't have to be something that's noticeable by other people who may be watching. It's just that you're going to take a break, 1 to 3 minutes, to shift over, to file a couple documents that have been sitting in the filing bin that you need to get done, and that's kind of like mind-numbing work to do filing. So do that, get that done, and then come back and you feel a bit refreshed, or go to the restroom, go get a cup of coffee, get up, get that blood circulating. Remember this when you go into your first job, okay? Self-care. Number three, you're going to have accountability systems, which is your to-do list and your calendar, okay? And then this final one is number 4, is when do you work the best? I found that I got a little sluggish after lunch. And here was my schedule for the most part, excuse me. I would get to work at about, most of my jobs started at 8:30, but I got there at 8:10 or 8:15. Why? Because my attorneys, for the most part, did not get there till 9:30. That gave me over an hour to get caught up on things, to see where I was, to remind myself, to not have really many phone calls at all coming in. I got ahead of the game. Then, by the time the attorney came in, they've been thinking about what they want to tell me to add more to my to-do list, you see? So I had to knock some things off that to-do list to just feel like I'm accomplishing something before more is added. Then, if you have to take your lunch either at 11, 11:30, or 12, which most of us do, then if you take the earlier one, by the time you come back, the rest of the office pretty much will go at 12. And you have quiet because the rest of the world is probably gone, including the clients, at 12. And you have extra gap time where the phones won't be ringing off the hook. So you've got to grab that time where you aren't interrupted so you can try to get the work done. And that's a beautiful thing. Now the rest of the afternoon, it could be hectic, but I find myself slowing down mentally in the afternoon personally, and I have to push myself. In the morning, not so much, but in the afternoon, yes. Evening is when I work the best, but I'm not going to be at work in the evening. So look at this. Attorneys do this too, where I knew an attorney who worked the best before dawn. He would get up and he and his wife would go to the west coast of the U.S. up in Seattle for 2 months out of the year, and there were reasons for that I won't go into. But they would go out there, and then he would hit a coffee shop, he would work in the coffee shop, and it would be when the coffee shop opened at 5 a.m. And so when the paralegal came in, there were a ton of voicemails and emails from him and instructions. So in that respect, his best time to work was at 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. and on, and the very early parts of the morning when he had no interruptions. But that presents a dilemma for the paralegal in that instance, because they'll come in to all these messages. But when an attorney doesn't come to work till 9:30, you have a little bit of a chunk of time to yourself. And usually clients Overall, it's really hitting about 9:30, where people 9:30, where they wake up and or they remember they have to call you about something, and that starts. So any kind of time you can squirrel away for yourself, including an off-kilter type of lunch hour time, where you go at 11, everybody else goes at a different, later time. I tried to go in one law firm at 1 o'clock, but they weren't having it. They didn't like that but I felt that I could get so much work done when nobody was around. So remember that when you go into your first job, how you will squirrel away and get away some of that time for yourself. And when do you work the best? For me, my best, if I could go to work at 10 and work till, I don't know, 6, that would be better for me, for my body clock. But that's not how most offices work. Let me see. I think that's it for today. Knowing how you work the best, how to work the best for your law firm, using systems to take. Why do I use systems? Most paralegals do. It takes the stress off. Systems are the to-do list and the calendar. And there's another system I teach in my course, Paralegal Inner Circle class. It's what I call the trifecta. And I add that to the first two I mentioned, and I've got the perfect grouping so that I don't miss deadlines, I don't miss things I need to do. In the legal field, everything has to be written down and tracked so that you are not dropping the ball. There's nobody who's going to go, oh, the attorney may say, oh, did you remember to do this? But you've got to be proactive and an initiator to do that, and very, very organized. It's not a place where you're going to be, they're going to hold your hand, and you're not going to have a baby food time. You're going to be right on the hard food, and there's no time to really adapt. You've got to know a lot before you walk in. Okay, there's no training in an office, watching videos and all of that like they do in fast food or retail. It does not exist overall, even if the ad says so. They'll do that for 2 weeks and be fed up with it. So remember that you've got to focus, but you've got to give yourself care at the same time. And when you're working for 45 minutes to an hour, take a minute to 3 minute break and go do that filing, go look up something, and then get back to it. It really helps your head. All right, so that is it for today. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. Hi, Monica. Yeah, it helps to have a routine. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I will talk to you in the next live. All right. Any questions, comments, post them below. Oh, before I forget, be sure to go to the website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and check out those complimentary items. Okay. The first step, as you notice I mentioned on this page, is to understand what the basics are for paralegals before you go in. What basic skill sets, very basic, you should have before you even attempt to go in this field. And if you can join us in class next month, it starts up on the 15th of January. Join us. It will do nothing but help you. 50 videos, many PDFs to download, and a private Facebook group come with that class. But go to the website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and get that list of 19 alternative paralegal careers. You might not have ever thought that a paralegal could be employed with NASCAR or other corporations. Go check out that list. Get a free chapter of my book, Legal Break-In, or you can click on the link to get the book itself. You'll see that on the website up at the top. Let's see, get on the wait list for the class, okay? Paralegal Inner Circle class. And what else can I tell you? Oh, there's a goals journal that you could download, okay? So Have a great weekend. Take some time for yourself. Thanks for being here, Monica. And I will talk to you and anybody else who was here live with me and on replay. I'll talk to you possibly over the weekend. My hubby is recovering so fantastically from back surgery. And so walking without a walker, going through physical therapy, but doing extremely well. So, oh, I see. You're going back to school, Monica. I'm trying to read. There's glare on here. Yeah. Well, best wishes with school, okay? So, but my hubby's doing really well, and thank you for everybody who prayed for him. You know, it's a scary thing to go through any kind of surgery, right? And but he's doing really well, and it's actually a year-long healing process overall. The first 3 months are where he's very restricted into certain movements, but I think after that it will ease up. But it feels like it takes forever. So thanks again for your prayers. I really appreciate it, and he does too. So enjoy your weekend. Don't let the holidays get you down. It's a hard time because we miss people that are no longer with us, and very emotional time. So hang in there. And look forward to 2020, because great things are going to happen for you. And I appreciate you being here. Have a great day. Good weekend for you, Monica. And I'll talk to you guys in the next live. Bye.